Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanee and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. All right, how are we?
Very well.
Clarky, you're on mute, darling. You're mute. You're still on mute. You're on mute on the screen. Let me see if I can unmute you.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
That's quite funny because I was laughing heartily with you all and you missed it all. But I was laughing because of the conversation that happened before we started recording. It was professional
Feminist
voices straight up.
Yeah,
and I was like, bitch. How are we? Oh, we're great.
All right. How are we? Oh, yes, I'm great. Thanks. Yes. Just complaining about domestic non-bliss 5 minutes beforehand. That's right. We're so professional. You're right, Clarky. You're right. Goodness. Any news? We've had a little break, about 10 minutes, which was nice. I went and got another drink to go with my second drink. Oh, something happened.
What's happened?
Yes. Well, I've been meaning to tell you this.
What could happen in 5 minutes?
I thought to myself, I've got to talk to them about this when we do our Trial by Wine.
Yes.
And then I forgot, but you've just kind of reminded me. You know how we often talk about, idiots and how dumb people can be, but also...
Do we?
Also animals and the scary stuff.
Nature.
This popped up on Weird Facts on Facebook. Not something I follow, but, I get...
Algorithm.
Yeah, it
My
serves it
Facebook
to you anyway.
is just spam nowadays.
Yes.
So a 55-year-old Canadian woman on vacation in the Turks and Caicos Islands, I assume that's how you pronounce it, wouldn't know, attempted to take a photo with a shark while wading in shallow water near Thompson's Cove. When she tried to, and this is in inverted commas, when she tried to engage to take photographs, a shark attacked her, severing both of her hands and causing severe injuries.
Oh, my God.
One hand was reportedly severed at the wrist and the other at mid-forearm.
That didn't go well.
She needs a hand. She's in
I
trouble.
bet her photo was good,
up.
but it's in the animal's belly because it's gone with the hands.
When she tried to engage with it, what was she doing?
She's going,
trying to take a selfie.
She's trying to take a selfie. She's like she didn't get her head bitten off if it was a selfie. I did hear, and I don't know any facts about this, but I heard about a tourist here in Australia who was found Canadian.
A dingo. Yep.
Well, was it a dingo or did she
don't
drown
know.
and then
Did
the
she
dingoes
drown
ate her
it?
body?
Yeah, it was probably
It
a
was yesterday.
jellyfish.
But I was just alluding to the fact that it's a
Could be a
dingo
sea
related.
snake.
Yes. Yeah.
I saw that
100% there was a
yesterday.
dingo involved
Dingoes could absolutely
in
kill
the
her.
aftermath.
Not even scavengers, a pack. The thing that got me is she's Canadian. You've got wolves and bears in Canada.
Maybe the dingoes were attacking her and she ran into the water and realised she couldn't swim.
Maybe because dingoes are small, she was fooled by their stature because they look like little.
Small and cute like sharks.
Yeah.
They are cute. They look like
They are. They're very cute.
what's the Japanese, the sort of same colour? Akita. The
Yeah,
little
yeah.
spits. They've got a little spitzness about them. They're cute. They're sandy coloured. You could be
Right
confused.
until they lunge
Shiba
at you.
Inu.
Yeah, until
Shiba Inu?
they are. That's
Shiba
it, a
Inu.
Shiba Inu. They've without the sort of face, but they're very Shiba Inu-y, and you could imagine that a tourist would look at them and go, "Oh, they're cute," compared to our wolves who are very scary and big. Oh my God, they're killing me! I could see it.
Yep.
They bite people. They bite people quite regularly.
Who wants to sit around in knee-deep
And
water
then-
trying to take a perfect photo
mean,
of a shark?
Don't.
Come on.
Who's
Have you heard of all the
Right now.
shark activity in Sydney the last couple of days?
Yes.
That's hideous.
There's
No,
a
I
lot.
haven't
God.
because I stayed out of the ocean. The ocean is a dangerous place.
Tony Abbott's come out and said we need to cull the sharks. I think it's
What,
like
so he
stop the
can go in
boats.
his budgie smugglers, so he can go
Yeah.
for a swim.
He should go swimming in Sydney.
We should cull the Tony Abbotts. More to the point.
That's right.
I'll leave that in because I
Funny.
cannot stand that man. Right. That was news. Thank you for bringing that up. I suppose we should introduce ourselves. I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky. And together we are
Trial
by Wine.
And what are we drinking?
Fridge Siggy. My first tasting.
A
Ooh.
little Diet Coke.
And
Nice.
in fact, it's the first one I've had for a little while because I put the cans in this morning.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'm quite enjoying it, I have to say.
I love the term fridge ciggy.
I don't know if I don't think I sent it to you guys. I found like something where there was a whole list of like 10 different names for them. I could probably find it. There were some
A
good
desk
ones.
dart or something was one of them, I
Oh,
thought.
yeah, I did share it with you guys then, yeah.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I must be on my algorithm. It sends stuff all the time, people who are like me who are obsessed with. It's not even that I am obsessed with Diet Coke, but I now like to see myself as part of that community, so.
Well, I'm sure Siri through your phone hears you talk about it all the time, every time we
Yep.
record an episode, so no wonder you get a lot of Diet Coke stuff.
I've done a lot of Diet Coke stuff, a lot.
Well, I'm just on a porridge juice, and the last porridge juice I had lasted the entire recording because I was doing a lot of talking, so I've just topped it up with a bit of extra cola and just a dash of rum.
Nice.
It's a
Sounds very safe.
Yeah,
We're back on the Terra Australis
the
zesty
gingers.
lemon. Delicious.
Another
Sounds
one,
good.
actually.
Good for you.
Not the same one.
No, good. You're on your second. Well, who's got a story for us?
I do.
Okay.
Want to hear it?
I do.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So today's story, Swanee.
You're excited. I like the energy coming from your voice.
Well, it comes from Perth.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I just want to tell you that up front so you can be very mindful of what
Your
you
response?
say. Maybe try to guide us so that we don't say anything too offensive.
Yeah, it's not Wiggers.
As long as it's not
definitely
Wiggers.
not Wiggers.
I was
It's
going
not
to say that
Wiggers.
class. As long as it's not Wiggers.
It's not Wiggers. And funnily enough, it does have some similarities to last week's episode. So I came across this one a little while ago, but couldn't quite get my head around it. From one perspective, it's very simplistic and easy to understand.
Yeah.
But there's also another side to it, which I find quite disturbing. And as we go through it, and we'll probably touch on it a bit later, but I want you to just give some consideration to the what must go in a legal case where you think you know someone did it, but it's really hard to prove that they did it. So, we'll touch on that later.
Okay.
Anyway, so first up, my sources are WA Today, Sydney Morning Herald, yahoo.com, abc.net.au, International Business Times, and Australian Magazine. So it's the afternoon of May the 25th, 2020. And Fabian Rebelo has just finished his shift at the Bicton supermarket. Do you know it?
I think so.
Yeah.
The reaction was very much like,
Is it the mum?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's big. Yeah. Cool.
It's massive.
Yeah.
And he's waiting for his mum to pick him up at 2 p.m. as arranged when she dropped him off. And I think he was about 19 at the time. However, she didn't turn up, so he called her, but she didn't answer. He called her 10 times in total with no answer, so he decided to walk home, which was only sort of 10 or 15 minutes away.
I bet he was doing a little bit of internal dialogue that wasn't terribly complimentary. Wasn't terribly complimentary towards mum.
You had one job. You just have to pick me up.
100%.
Oh, this is bullshit.
It's so hot.
Oh my God, it's so hot.
Yeah, and it wouldn't even be this always happens because I get the sense that it wasn't a this always happens thing.
No,
but
no.
what's she doing now?
Yeah.
I can't believe I rang her 10 times. What on earth is she doing that she hasn't called me back?
What's more important than me?
That's right.
He seems like a very nice boy and probably wasn't saying any of that. But anyway, he lived at home with only his mother. His 3 siblings had already moved out. Upon entering the house, he said he heard the shower running in her ensuite bathroom, but she didn't respond when he called out.
So she's going, where the hell have you been?
Yeah, having a fucking shower.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I'm
Thanks a
home.
fucking lot. Thanks a fucking lot.
Yeah, thanks for nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. I should also say this is now going to appeal.
Okay.
Or an appeal's been lodged. So just keep that in mind as we go through it.
Sure.
Fabian turned off he entered the bathroom to find her slumped over on her knees in the shower with the water running. He turned off the water, which he said was warm, but noticed his mother's face and at least one hand were blue when he pulled her from the shower, and there was blood in her mouth and coming from her nose. Fabian pulled her out of the shower and called 000. For those of you overseas, that's the Australian equivalent of 911 or 999.
999, yep.
And he was instructed to perform CPR until the ambulance officers arrived. Quite traumatic.
Absolutely.
When the ambulance officers arrived, the officers couldn't find a heartbeat and thought she was already dead due to the modelling patterns on her face and neck, and they did not attempt to resuscitate her. Constable Shane Greatrex was called to the Rebelo's home and found the windows and doors locked with no sign anyone had broken in. He said he found no evidence of injuries on Miss Rebello's body and nothing that led him to believe her death was an instance of self-harm. A post-mortem was subsequently carried out, however, it could not determine the cause of the death. As a result of the lack of injuries and no cause of death, Mr. Rebello's death was deemed not suspicious. That position lasted 3 days until the police received a call from an insurance company employee who wanted to report something that they thought was suspicious. Colleen's son, Andre, was trying to claim on his mother's life insurance policy just 3 days after she died.
Wait a minute, just go back a second. So she dies in the shower.
Yeah.
And she has
To be correct, she's
modelling.
found in the shower.
Right. Okay. She's found in the shower because it sounds to me like there's blood. I haven't, just the way you've described the scene. Her having a blue face and a blue hand and the mottling and all the rest of it suggests that she was probably lying somewhere else. And because the blood pools, in the position that you're in. So it's a bit weird. And then for the police to go, not suspicious? What?
Well, so I don't think there was a lot of blood, but there
Okay.
was some blood. So it wasn't like there was.
But surely you would be going down some kind of coronial inquest before you determined whether it was suspicious or not. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no, I get it, but they were kind of saying I think they thought it was she died of natural causes in the shower, and we'll touch a lot more on that because, like I said, the evidence in this is very interesting.
Okay.
So, who was Andre Rebelo? So, he was born in Perth, Western Australia, to Antonio and Colleen Rebelo. He grew up in a loving middle-class household alongside his 3 siblings, Julian, his twin Monique, and Fabian. And they're all a very good-looking family, which I guess adds to the screen appeal.
Public interest,
yeah. So his mother, Colleen, was the heart of the family, a 58-year-old mother of 4, grandmother and devoted community member who lived a healthy, active lifestyle. Known for her warmth and optimism, she frequently exercised, volunteered, and remained deeply connected to her children. Andre attended university to study management, but deferred before finishing. He worked as a Coles delivery driver and later attempted to build a new identity through cryptocurrency trading. And his long-term partner was Grace Piscopo, one of Australia's most popular Instagram models. The couple began dating in 2012 and welcomed their son Romeo in 2019. Typical of influencers, their online relationship projected success, luxury holidays, high-end fashion, and expensive cars. They embodied the modern dream, young, beautiful, and wealthy, but in reality, they were struggling. And you look at their pictures on Instagram, and they are beautiful, and they're in these amazing destinations and doing all the things that project this image of...
That's the whole point, isn't it?
It is.
The bullshit of influence that, like, remember I did that one about the mum who was abusing her kids and she was an influencer.
That keeps coming up on my feed, the documentary,
I can't think of her name now, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, sorry, go on.
So behind the photo shoots and sponsorships, their financial situation was dire. They lived in a rented Beaconsfield home costing $880 per week and financed a Range Rover. So Grace earned 6-figure contracts through brand deals, but Andre's crypto ventures failed repeatedly, and he was more than $100,000 in debt. To maintain the illusion of wealth, Andre lied to Grace, claiming he was due $500,000 profit from cryptocurrency trading. It was a fantasy, but one he was determined to make real at any cost. By 2020, Andre Rebello's debts had reached breaking point. Creditors were calling, loans were overdue, and his carefully curated social media persona was starting to crack. His identity as a supportive partner to a high-earning influencer depended on appearances. So the police were understandably suspicious and began their investigation. They learned that in the week before his mother died, Andre had taken out 3 life insurance policies in his mother's name, totaling $1.15 million, which of course would have solved his financial woes.
Yeah. I think we found our man.
What? Yeah. Like, look no further.
Yeah. It's quite compelling.
What a coincidence.
But wait, he apparently forged her signature and made himself sole beneficiary for each of the policies.
Nothing suspicious about that. Absolutely normal.
No. Why are you looking at me? In addition to this, he fabricated identification documents and medical details, all while pretending to help his mother organise her affairs. And then within
What a
5
little
days of him
shit.
taking out the policies,
He killed
his
her.
mother was dead.
Sorry, she died.
Now, this alone isn't enough to prove guilt, and the police needed more. So at the moment,
It
they've
is
got him on
circumstantial.
fraud,
Yep.
but
Yep.
nothing more.
For murder, yeah.
So you can imagine their surprise when they received a call from Colleen's longtime psychologist, Narina Sidhu, 6 weeks after Colleen's death, because it's going nowhere. They've got nothing other than
It's just
the
circumstantial.
fraud,
Yep.
and it's 100% circumstantial. Narina had received a call from Andre wanting to discuss difficulties he was having with a claim on an insurance policy. Narina is good. So she said that Andre wanted her to call the insurance company and leave a 30-second voicemail stating who she was and that she had treated Colleen for a number of years and that in her opinion, the 58-year-old was not suicidal. So, and apparently it was urgent. So, of course, Narina is going, what? Why would you want me to do that? She had no relationship with him and had never met him before. And she was not prepared to do anything until he came in to see her so she could speak about it in person. Now, a cynical person might think she wanted this to increase her billable hours, but I actually think it's very responsible and well played, Narina. Andre booked an appointment with her for the 22nd of July, but couldn't wait and kept trying to get Narina to make the call. For some reason, he needed it sorted urgently. Her phone records showed that Andre had attempted to call her 21 times in 4 days, between July 7 and July 10, followed up with text messages urging her to make the call to the insurance company. Andre still had 12 days before his appointment and just couldn't hold off, so he tried to call again. He couldn't get through and made 5 more attempts before texting her. Hi, Narina. Did you get a chance to call and leave a short message regarding my mum today? It's somewhat urgent.
Jesus.
And then in brackets, not sure why they couldn't get in touch with you. Feel free to call me if you have any questions. I've got a fucking lot of questions, mate. Can you come in so we can discuss it? Narina was having none of it and made the decision to ignore all of Andre's calls and texts because she'd made it clear that she wouldn't proceed with the call until she'd met him in person. He attempted to call her again the following day, and she had 13 missed calls from him. The day
This
after
is like
he called,
a scammer. Like maybe it wasn't him at all. Maybe it was someone calling
At
from
this
Laos.
point, as a
Laos.
psychologist, surely she should realise that he's a
Off his
risk to
nut.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be
So
calling the police at that point.
well, yeah, so she's kind of held off. So the day after he called her 21 times, and I'm not sure of the exact dates of those, but his appointment on the 22nd of July came around, and whilst it was such an important issue he needed
He
resolved,
didn't show up.
he didn't show up to the appointment.
Oh, God.
And then on Friday, July 24, he tried to call her 10 times. Like, that's not okay.
No.
Andre decided he had a better idea than going to his appointment. He allegedly turned up at the psychologist's home when she was not working with his son, young Romeo, in tow.
Oh, my God.
And she was outside gardening at the time. Narina told him she would not discuss things with him at home and asked him to leave, which he did. So that's good. You know, nothing that could have escalated, I feel, but it
That's
didn't.
something. Yep.
A week or so later, Narina sent Andre a text message explaining she'd been made aware of fraudulent emails and reports that had been sent to the insurance company using her name and signature.
Ooh.
Her text read, I am very concerned about these acts of fraud and will be making a report to the police. I am not sure who has done this, but I am letting you and Monique, his twin sister, know about the situation. Andre replied with, Hi, Narina. I appreciate your concern, but I never sent any emails of the sort. I only told them what you told me, but never claimed to be you. We're all aware of the claim, so nothing is fraudulent. Please call me if you like. Narina also had a copy of a voicemail message that had been sent to AIA Australia, an insurance company. In it, the person stated, So sorry it's taken a while to call back. Just on a morning walk and I'm very busy today, so it'll be quick. I can confirm my email information for Colleen. She only saw me for general counselling, nothing serious, and she certainly wasn't suicidal at all. I hope this helps the Rebelo's claim. Andre has told me about their current financial struggles. So
Oh, my
I'm
God.
hoping
Who
this-
says this?
So I'm
God.
hoping for this to work out for them. Have a
I bet
great
you
day.
are.
That's
Oh
just
my-
what a psychologist would say.
And that was a
Right?
female voice?
Exactly.
That was
Well,
a female voice?
Listen, this is the
Okay.
bit that you'll love. We've discussed the use of AI in scams and fraud in the
Yes,
past,
right.
so it will come as no surprise to learn that in court it was later revealed that the police found evidence Andre had searched for fake voice generator and best online deep fake voice. Apparently, the voicemail message sounded robotic and had been created with a text-to-speech program.
Yep.
Come on, mate.
Hello. It is.
I'm just outnumbered. Kidding.
As if
God.
a psychologist would say that if they were calling like
Yeah.
an insurance company. They
What?
really need it. They're
I hope I could help them with their claim.
Yeah. I understand their dire financial need.
insurance companies will really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
We're really trying to pay the money to them too, as you can imagine. Not.
Yeah, we're desperately trying to work this out in their favour.
Yeah.
So the police took all of this information very seriously, and upon further investigation, they discovered that two of the insurance companies refused to take the claim any further because it was too soon after Colleen had died. But one left the door open by asking for documents including a coroner's report, will, and medical information. Now, Andre did not have that information. He was not the executor of his mother's will.
No.
His older brother Julian was. And the coroner's office had been communicating with Fabian, the younger brother who found his mum, who was notified as Colleen's next of kin. So no one's talking to Andre as a first point of call. Having no way of getting the required information without speaking to his siblings, Andre made a fake will, a fake coroner's report, and fake medical documents in a desperate attempt to get the insurance company to hand over the money.
Oh.
He had forged her signature and made himself sole beneficiary.
The thing about this is it's like this sort of stuff. I think Carla, or one of you did a story once about, I think it was you, Carla. Oh, I can't remember. About a guy who did this sort of thing, like, killed the partner and there was
Yeah.
insurance claims and all the rest of it. And in the timey-wimey machine, when you go back to when you had facsimiles that could look a bit rough and you had like documents.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, in
That's the
2020, you think you
Yeah.
could just make up a death certificate. Like, what do you do? Google the VUA death certificate
Certificates.
template? Like what?
Like it's hard to believe. Also, the AI voice 5 years ago, AI's come a long way in 6 months.
Oh
or
no, it was
12 months.
Microsoft Sam at that point.
It was
yeah.
ridiculous back
Yeah.
then. But here he is.
As you said,
I was gonna
I'm
say,
walking
he's
the
certainly at the
dog.
forefront of technology, isn't he, old?
All right, he's got it
Oh, he's
all
an
going on.
influencer.
Andre.
Influencer. He's all about the media, all
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
I was
reels.
gonna say he knows
Mm.
what's going on.
Knows his tech.
You ever found
So-
most of his stuff on TikTok, how to do it all, I bet.
Yeah.
So two
Life
of the
hack, how to
policies
kill your mother
alone.
for insurance.
Yeah, that's right, how to get away with it. Two of the policies alone would have left him a millionaire overnight. On the back of the evidence from the insurance company and Colleen's psychologist, detectives placed hidden cameras and listening devices into the Beaconsfield home Andre shared with Grace Piscopo.
The old sting.
Recordings revealed Grace had no involvement. She even expressed fear that Andre was being framed. So there was no kind of colluding between them.
No.
She apparently was completely unaware of all of it. So the financial trail told the police the story they needed. Andre's credit cards, digital signatures, and email records tied him to the fraudulent policies. On the 22nd of November 2022, police arrested him at his home. He was charged with murder and 4 counts of fraud. Now, this is where it gets hard. Andre admitted to the forgeries and the fraud, but denied killing his mother.
So it was just a coincidence that she died 5 days after he took out the...
But this is the bit, like if you're trying to prove someone's guilt,
Yes.
they've absolutely got him on fraud. They've got to try to find a way to get him on murder.
Murder, yeah.
So the murder trial was very high profile and lasted 8 weeks. It was complicated due to the lack of direct evidence relating to the murder, no cause of death, no murder weapon. The case was built on circumstantial evidence. The state prosecutor, Brett Tooker, alleged that Andre had orchestrated a horrible plan to take out 3 life insurance policies in secret and then kill his 58-year-old mother, Colleen, in her own home just days later, all to improve his financial position and maintain his plastic lifestyle. I like his description of plastic lifestyle. They alleged Andre murdered his mother during a visit to her home, possibly by smothering her face with a pillow. He then stripped her naked and placed her body in the shower to make it look like she'd collapsed from natural causes.
But surely they would be able to determine that she'd been asphyxiated.
Well, this is the thing. So I've got a fair bit of evidence from the medical expert
Okay.
because there's a lot that plays out in that space. Where was that? So through his defense attorney, Anthony Elliott, Andre again acknowledged that he had committed fraud but denied the accusation that he was involved in her death. He told the jury that he had visited his mum on the day she died, stayed for a chat and a coffee, dropped off some clothes and caught his mother up on the latest news about his Instagram influencer girlfriend Grace and their young son. Then he claimed he left. The defense argued that she must have died of natural causes. The trial focused on key elements: the financial motive, life insurance policies, the forged documents, and the medical evidence. So obviously the financial motive is related to the murder. The life insurance policies and the forged documents are obviously the fraud part, but also somewhat related to, used as evidence for the murder. Prosecution discussed the combination of financial difficulties and the need to be equal or a valued contributor to his relationship with Grace as the motive. They believed that Andre had been left behind while his then partner, Grace, was gaining online popularity and financial success. Andre had made just $22 from his crypto trading career and had
I shouldn't laugh.
It sounds like us on. Sounds like trial by wine.
Exactly that.
I shouldn't laugh, but yeah.
See,
I mean, you're right. We
didn't
are
have to
about
split it
as
3 ways.
yeah, no, we are about as fiscally successful with our venture on podcasting as he is with
Oh, that's too
cryptocurrency.
funny.
Correct, yes. But his personal debt was around $40,000, whilst Grace was earning 6 figures by 2020. The couple had overextended themselves financially with a flash home, car, clothes, and accessories. But the prosecution was saying the motivation was not just financial, it was also linked to Grace's fame. She was the model, creator, the successful one, and he was her assistant who worked behind the scenes. And he wanted to be her equal in terms of income, success, importance. Andre admitted he created forged documents in the days following her death to access the life insurance policies that he says were created at his mother's request. He told the trial his mother was concerned about approaching 60 and wanted her children and only grandchild to be protected financially in the event of her death. He also claimed that he told his mum she did not need $1.15 million worth of cover, but he took out the policies for her anyway. And he told the jury his mother was planning to pay for the insurance premiums herself. The prosecutor told the jury the suggestion that Andre was asked by his mum to take out the insurance policies for her was ridiculous, and that while she was capable of taking out the policies herself, she couldn't afford the premiums any more than Andre could. It was just lie after lie after lie. And of course, he made the point that Andre had named himself as the full beneficiary. So if it was done at his mum's bequest, likely she wouldn't do that. He wanted the money all for himself, and this is why he acted secretly. He did not tell anyone he was taking out the policies. So now, Schmitty, the medical evidence. The medical evidence, as I went through it and tried to pull all of this together, was equal parts fascinating and confusing. But I'll do my best to explain it to you. So Dr. Rima Junkersdorf was the one who carried out the autopsy 3 days after Colleen died. But despite auxiliary testing, her cause of death could not be determined. The lack of clarity around the cause of death played a big part in the trial, and I'll give you a rundown. Dr. Junkersdorf testified and was cross-examined, providing information that seemed to support both prosecution and defence. Dr. Junkersdorf told the court the autopsy revealed Colleen had blood spots on her eyelids that would be present with asphyxia, CPR, a chest injury, or neck compression. He said blood spots on the eyelids occurred when there had been an obstruction to the nose or mouth, so a person could not breathe. He performed a CT scan of Miss Rebelo's body, which revealed she did not have any bleeding on the brain, skull fractures, or skeletal injuries. He found injuries on her face and body, including bruising and abrasion on her eyebrows, along with some bruising and abrasions on her hands, arms, and legs. When asked by Mr. Elliott if the bruise on her eyebrow could have come from a blow from a fist, he responded yes. Dr. Junkersdorf told the court bruises on the back of Miss Rebelo's left hand, wrist, and forearm could have come from force or grabbing, and injuries around her eyebrows were consistent with a collapse type injury. So she could have collapsed also,
Yeah, fallen on her face.
which was the part of the allegation, particularly with her arms, was the allegation around her dying in the shower, I guess. The doctor told the court it was possible the injuries found on Colleen's body could have come from an attacker smothering her with an object such as a pillow. He said the pillow would act as a cushion, and because it was soft, it would be less likely to cause bruising or abrasion type injuries. During cross-examination by the defence, Dr. Junkerstorff told court the type of injuries found on Colleen's body during her autopsy were not the type of injuries you would find on a murdered person. Under
Sorry, Dr.
questioning by...
Junkerstorff said that.
Yeah, correct. Dr. Junkerstorff.
Dr. Junkerstorff, who's the forensic
It could be
pathologist.
Junkerstorff. Yeah.
Or Junkerstorff, but they're the forensic pathologist, right?
Correct. Yeah. Under questioning by defence lawyer Anthony Elliott, the doctor agreed 16 injuries he found on Colleen's body were not injuries that would have caused her death. They are a common finding in all of us as part of day-to-day living, as part of knocks and minor injuries, he said.
I get that the injuries that we're talking about wouldn't have caused her death, but could they not be evidence of something like that? Like there's not a blunt force trauma blow, or there's not bruising on the neck consistent with fingerprints or something like that. But could you not argue that regardless, the combination of some of these bruises or injuries could attest to things like suffocation through a pillow or a chokehold or something like that?
So that's exactly what the prosecution is saying. The defence then say, but aren't they just also possible? They're just normal injuries. And he goes,
my
yeah, of
forearm,
course.
which is covered in bruises right now.
It's exactly that, right? So there's the injuries do not provide evidence of murder. They provide injuries of injuries.
Evidence of injuries.
Day to day. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it was possible for a collapsed person to potentially block their airway if they were bent forward enough.
Yep.
The doctor said there were multiple reasons why someone would collapse suddenly, including an abnormal beating of the heart, drug intoxication, diabetic coma, and an epileptic seizure.
Was she known to suffer with epilepsy?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Or something to do with her insulin, etc. Exactly.
But the point is, it's not clear, right? There's nothing that says, aha. There's all of the fraud stuff that make you absolutely go, he did it. But the evidence as to when he says, yeah, I did the fraud, the evidence of murder is hard to find. Dr. Junkerstorff also told the court a person could be rendered unconscious within 10 seconds, then killed without a mark being left on their body using law enforcement and martial art techniques. This is what you love. Yeah. The Junkerstorff said depriving a person of oxygen by blocking their airways and compressing their carotid arteries impaired blood flow to the brain. I'm assuming like the sleeper holds you see on TV. So yeah, exactly that. Other medical experts included Colleen's GP, Dr. Niall Barrett, and an endocrinologist, Timothy Wellborn, who both gave evidence in the trial, telling the court Colleen was healthy when she died. Both witnesses said it was unlikely she died suddenly from medical conditions she'd been living with at the time of her death. The prosecution argued that timing was a critical piece of evidence. And recounted how the insurance policies were taken out
it's very
over 3
incriminating.
days. It is. It is. Yeah. Adding that once...
If he really did take them out and then kill his mother 5 days later, he's a fucking moron. Like, seriously, if you were going to do that, you'd wait months and months and months before... I mean, the whole thing's awful. The idea of being that status and money driven that you would murder your mother, you would take the mother of your siblings away and you would callously murder your mother for money. Like, kill your girlfriend. She's the one who's earning more than you. But why your mum? What does she do?
Yeah.
You know, like, why was she disposable? You know what I mean? Like, I just find it so appalling.
That's what I was saying at the start, that it's really basic, really obvious to understand.
Awful.
And it's also really quite frightening that you could do it.
And I take it his father's dead because he didn't knock him off, you know, like he's not in the picture.
No, but I think it's harder to knock his... So they were separated.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But just, so bad, so bad.
Yeah. So recounting the day Colleen was found dead in the shower of her Bicton home, the prosecution told the jury that whilst Andre had staged her death to make it look like a medical incident and acted carefully, he made a lot of mistakes that reveal the truth about what happened.
He's an idiot.
He pointed to police photos of Colleen's body, which showed her lying outside the shower wearing makeup, jewelry, including a gold watch, her hair still tied up, and a bath mat still draped over the bath. And that bit to me is something that I find when
That's
I first read
interesting.
it, I'm like, that would never happen. And I thought, if she's actually feeling unwell and goes, I'm going to have a shower, would you sit there and take your makeup off and make sure the bath mat's down and take
The
your
bath
jewelry
mat.
off? And
Not so much as anything else, but it's just one of those things where you think, I'll put that down so I don't slip, and it becomes so routine that you just don't. I can see the
But,
bath mat being good.
subconscious.
The jewelry and the makeup, I shower with jewelry and makeup on all the time. Not like necklaces and stuff, but
That's because you're dirty.
that's because you're a hoe.
what?
That's because you're very
I'm-
glamorous.
Let's get old
I
Jerry
don't
Springer.
take my wedding rings off. I don't take my wedding rings off when I shower. I wear them permanently. So
Yeah.
does that
But
make
I
me
think
dirty?
that's the point, right? I don't think.
Swanee's not wearing hers.
I
I'm
never do.
dirty.
Oh, no,
You
no,
never
no,
wear
no.
them.
No, I don't.
But-
I don't wear them to work out and stuff like that. I take them off all the time.
Oh,
Don't
no,
sleep in
I
them.
don't. I'm scared of losing them, so I keep them on.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
scared of that too, but I do look after them.
But that to me is how desperate they're getting to try to build
And
a
I've got fat
case.
fingers, so it's hard to take them off. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry.
my issue with ours.
My swelling.
Because it doesn't
So I
prove
get mine
anything.
No, it doesn't prove anything,
No.
but neither does the insurance stuff. But it points to possible motive and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't,
just
prove,
think
it doesn't prove anything. No. I mean,
that bit's irrelevant, really.
what you have to do is put enough kind of question in the jury's mind to say, because we've done loads of cases where there's no evidence and they just get someone convicted on a good story. The audience, the defense don't try and disprove it. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like, it's because sometimes the defense are like, it's not our job to prove that you're innocent. It's your job to prove you're guilty. And the prosecution are better at that than the defense are
Yeah.
at evidencing that there's no evidence, Anyway.
Yep. So Colleen's youngest son, Fabian, testified that he found her in the shower on her knees with her head resting
Poor
against the
Fabian.
wall. The prosecutor told the jury that if she had collapsed while showering,
Should
it
have
was
cracked your head,
unlikely
actually.
she would have fallen to her knees like this, which I
I agree
mean,
with that.
I think that is odd to fall to your knees like that.
Yeah.
Probably not within the. If it happened slowly, you might do that. If it happened quickly, you wouldn't.
And if you were fainting, like, or had a dizzy spell, which I've had in the past, when I've been mega hungover, for instance, I wouldn't get down on my knees. I'd sit down on my bum on the floor of the shower. I wouldn't get on my knees because I'd still be frightened of
uncomfortable,
falling
yeah.
further and I'd be uncomfortable. Yeah.
So he said if she had a medical episode, feeling faint, feeling bad in the shower, you're not going to take yourself down on your knees on a tiled surface, he said.
No.
That's not how it works. People don't collapse on their knees.
If
So
they
it's-
did, you'd crack it. Imagine the force of falling onto your knees in a shower recess. That would be
There'd be a
very-
lot
Well-
more bruising on her
Yeah.
knees too.
But also, I think the discomfort of it. So once you're like that, you would, Schmitty, like you said, get on your butt or, you go to
Yeah,
the
move.
side or
Yeah.
it's unusual. Again, not proof, but anyway, the jury deliberated for 2 days before returning a guilty verdict. And he was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum parole period of 25 years. But on the 5th of September last year, so 2025, he was back in the news again when he announced he'd be appealing the decision. And the grounds for the appeal are that I think Fabian, I mentioned he'd said the water was warm.
Mm.
I read somewhere else that he said that the temperature was a normal temperature. And based on that, apparently the hot water system could hold water for 45 minutes. He was found at 2:30 and it was still warm water. Then the murder had to happen or the death had to happen by 1:45 and Andre was long gone then. So that's the grounds for the appeal. I don't know whether the appeal's been granted, but that's the grounds for it.
I mean, I get what he's saying, which is, if the water was warm and there's no way I could have been there at the time that I'm alleged to have been there. But we don't know what the flow rate of the water was. We don't really know anything. That's just
Also,
bullshit.
In
argument.
hot
a
water that just goes
moment
on
of
forever.
shock when you find your mum
You
dead,
might have continuous hot water. If you've
well,
got
they
a
didn't.
tank
Yeah,
like
so
mine,
they
it runs
didn't
out.
have that. Yeah, they had one that runs out. But also on a hot day, it can feel warm. When
True.
you've
You've
just
also
found your
just
dead
walked
mum,
in
you're
and
in
you found your
shock.
dead mum. That's right. You're not really paying attention to whether like you might have been asked later what was the temperature of the water, and you're like, I don't know, normal.
Mm.
I don't know.
nothing remarkable.
It
Doesn't
wasn't
mean it was
freezing
hot.
cold. So it
Wasn't
could have been
scalding,
lukewarm. It could have
wasn't
been,
cold, yeah.
as you say, like tap water warm, but not heated warm, if you know what I
Yep.
mean. It's Perth. It's hot. Although
But
it was in
it's-
July.
Yeah. But it's, he could have come in from the cold and been feeling cold, and therefore it didn't
Where was
matter.
Andre that proves that he couldn't have been there? Sorry?
I don't recall. Possibly back at home. I'm not sure, but there was nothing, and no
But they don't have a
argument about the
phone
fact that he
record
was
that
there.
shows that he could have been there or anything like that. You
Oh,
know,
well, there was no
pinged towers and-
argument from the prosecution that he could have been there at that point. That wasn't something that. So I don't know whether there was, he was with someone or whether there was phone records or whatever. But
Right.
no one.
There's some form of evidence that
no
says he
one's
could not have
arguing
been
that
there at
point.
that time. Okay, right.
But it's a really interesting thing about the way you behave.
If I turn the hot water on full bore and then I turn the cold on, you know how some people turn the hot on and then they cool it down. What if you just turn the hot on a bit and put the cold on a bit? Because we don't know,
Yeah.
like whether it was a full
How
bore
much of it was
running, how
hot.
much it's running, right? So actually a hot water system can reheat itself, even a tank, if you're running it really, really slowly like that. So the actual hot water flow rate is everything in that argument.
Is it 45 minutes
And there's
of
no way
only hot, or is it?
the only way they could possibly pick something up about the water utilization if they went to the people who, like to see the meter. As the meter was running, it would give you an indication of how many litres were running through. So you might be able to calculate that. But it seems to me
It's
like
interesting
it's
grounds.
very spurious. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's what I
It's like
guess.
what I was going to say. It's like, wow, like some old private detective comes up with the theory about that to try and get their client off. You know what I mean? Like it's got
Miss
some kind
Marple.
of weird, Agatha Christie feel about it. Yeah.
It does. But it's also the bit that I thought was really interesting is how it's literally his own behaviour that makes you convinced that he's guilty, because
100%.
who does
he
that?
is.
Who does?
Allegedly.
Yeah, but who does any of that?
I know.
Whereas the
No.
evidence, if you just look at the evidence in isolation,
because at the end of the day, if you spend all your time fraudulently trying to get your mum insured to start with, and then just coincidentally she dies, and then you very quickly, well, that's lucky, I'll just immediately claim. Do you know what I mean? Like
with urgency.
Because you wouldn't, would you? You'd be like, fuck, mum actually died. Now I feel so guilty. Like I cursed her if you didn't kill her.
My God.
I can't claim that money. Oh my God, what have I done? I've created, the universe has now killed my mother because of my stupidity. That's the kind of thing I would think, because I have a moral compass and I wouldn't do it at the first bit in the first place. But yeah, it's what a load of shit. He definitely did it. And it's so bad.
And there's no explanation for the urgency. Like, so what if he owes 40 grand or whatever it is?
He could have just gone bankrupt.
Any bank, though, would go, all right, your mum's died. We'll give you a grace period of whatever that is.
Compassionate.
That's so the urgency is a bit where you go, why would you even do that?
I find it hard to believe that you can get insurance policies that easily. And that that they would even entertain paying them out after such a short period of time.
Oh, that bit is,
you know what I mean? Otherwise we'd all do it, and
there's like
it happened
year.
constantly.
Yeah.
Not 5 days, whatever it was. It's ridiculous.
It is.
You really have to go and have a look at the girlfriend's
Instagram.
Do I?
I just hate that shit. And I started
just
looking at it,
had a look now.
I've seen
I know. I just had a
enough.
look that I've never bothered to look at it. But I was getting a bit confused because there's a man and all, but she's got a new partner. But I tell you what, her life is as stupid as it was then. It's all just, aren't we fabulous? Don't we have everything? Aren't we gorgeous? I've got my gear off. I've got my gear off. I've got my gear off.
Enjoy that, because when
I've
you're
got
our
my
age, you
fake
won't be getting
face.
your gear off.
Yeah.
Enjoy it all now while you can, is
And
what
the
I
guy
say.
that she's now with, he does it. He's got, like I've clicked on, he's got a page as well. Oh my God, she's just sort of upgraded to a newer version of another
Look,
influencer.
It's just, it's
She's got 1 million followers. 1 million.
Yeah, she's big. She was a brand
She's doing
ambassador,
well.
I think, for one of Kim Kardashian's labels, or I don't know, something. So
Right,
she's
probably.
actually
She's got
she's
that kind
quite-
of look.
Yeah, she does. She really, once you know that, you look at her and go, God, she's actually kind of single white female in Kim Kardashian.
She's making a living.
Crazy. She's
I'm fine
certainly
with that.
fucking
It's not my
hustling.
thing. Yeah, she's
I
hustling.
hate it, but good on her for making the money. You know,
Yeah.
The
that's
little
what
She
boys-
didn't kill
people
anyone's
nowadays do.
mother. She didn't kill anyone.
That's right.
The
She's
little
not
boy's
guilty here.
gorgeous, and there's a new
Old
dad on the
fat.
scene. Yeah. They're doing lots of happy family stuff and then
Yeah.
lots of, you know, Rudy Nudie kind of content as a new couple.
Okay.
So I
great.
guess if that's your
Yeah, it's
jam,
all very. I mean, it makes you envious of their lifestyle, doesn't it?
Well, should be
Probably
by
should
now,
be around there, I reckon.
Well, fair enough. Good on them. But, you know, just what a flog the guy was, you know? What an absolute flog.
Like that thing about killing your mother over all of that. Like, what on earth?
What did she do? Like, did he hate her? Was there any
He was
animosity
a-
between
I
them?
think he was.
Was a little estranged, not a lot, but you know
By her or by himself?
no, by her.
Right.
But I think because of his behaviour, you know, he's so the eldest brother is the one who is the
Executor.
executor, and the youngest one is the next of kin or whatever it was. So, you know, he was. I did read somewhere that he was
a bit of a black
somewhat
sheep.
on the middle child syndrome, I'm assuming. Yeah, so I think there was a little bit of that, but who?
Doesn't justify killing your
God, has
mother.
she not done enough for you? And now you want, you know, to. And in what world do you get away with that?
Yeah. No.
I don't
It's
know.
appalling.
Hmm.
What about a
There you go.
sentence?
Oh, I
Can't
mean,
believe it.
hard work. I hate these get rich quick schemes, of which being an influencer is one, as is cryptocurrency. When it doesn't work, I'm going to kill someone else because my get rich quick schemes aren't
Do
working.
work,
Like,
yeah.
It's lucky we didn't start
fucking-
this to actually get rich, isn't it?
100%. God. He does need to do hard work. Go and
Yeah.
fucking, you know, and get no money for it.
Mm.
But go and work in the slops
And no one will
yards
take
in
and no one's
Trial by
going to
One
take
World.
a photo. Yeah, peasant world for him.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
just so all for nothing and just so fake.
Gross.
It just is appalling, really.
Good
That
old
whole
Trial
thing.
by Wine World. We haven't visited it
Mhm.
for a while, but yeah. No, it's just so
Vapid.
yeah. At what point do you get okay? You get your insurance money, you kill your mother, and no one works it out, and you get away with it. Surely, at some point, there's a reckoning in your conscience. Like, what did you think? You could just breeze on by, and it'll be fine. And it's yes, it's very sad, isn't it? Like, surely there's a scar on your soul when you do things like that. You know,
Your next life is not a pleasant one.
Murdering
No.
your mother
isn't it just
for
for
money.
nothing?
Like last week, we were shocked about the murdering of the parents over not being allowed to go to the drive-ins. Well, Mum hadn't even done anything here.
Yeah,
Like,
true. She didn't even do
Yeah.
that.
what?
And also,
It's really
the other
sad when you
one's
think about it like that.
making six figures. So if they're a couple, why couldn't they could have cut back on their expenses and she could have given him some money?
There were I'd left it out, but there were things I read where she didn't treat him well. So I don't know
The
how
girlfriend?
much. Yeah. I don't know how
Okay.
much she was into what they had going on and possibly was going there. That's sort of yours to deal with. That's not ours to deal with. I know we've been together for 7 years and we've got a kid.
They have a
but
child. Yeah.
that's all your problem, not mine.
Well, it does
Hey,
sound a
see,
bit like
why
it was
didn't he
his
just
fucking
marry
problem.
her? If he'd married her, then he could have sued her for divorce and taken 50% of her wealth.
Well, he wouldn't even need to. He could have done
Because
that
he wouldn't
anyway.
want to divorce her because she was the one with the followers.
No, I get that, but I'm saying if it was just about money, and
But
he,
it wasn't just about money. It was about money and appearances. Do you know
And
what I mean? It's
reputation.
not
A
just
lot of
all
it.
that. It's all packed
That
together.
plastic
If it was just
lifestyle.
about money,
but how you
he
can
probably wouldn't give a
think-
shit and go, I'm not doing this. But it's all this idea of keeping up with whatever the equivalent of the Joneses is for
The
social
Kardashians.
media.
Piscopos.
The Piscopos.
the Kardashians. But my thing is, like, I get it. I get what you're saying. But to kill your mother
Oh.
for that.
That's 40
I just
grand. Like
can't.
it's for $500,000, but he owes 40 grand. Like
Oh,
go and
but
get
I-
a loan and the job.
But if you think that it wasn't all going to crash down immediately, having behaved in exactly the way you behaved, like, what kind of an idiot thinks I'll take out these insurance things, I'll kill her, and then I'll get it all within
That's-
3 weeks?
But in what world does
Yeah.
that work? Not even in
Exactly.
trial by wine world, that doesn't work.
No, and that's totally made up. That's right.
That's right.
It's complete fiction. Gosh. Yeah, peasant
Where
world
was
for
his
him.
part-time job at the time? Was it a supermarket or was it the brother?
Yeah.
He was doing Coles driving,
Coles driving, yeah.
but then he invested in crypto and made $22.
I mean, how often do you think
know.
the Coles
Calm down.
driver ever played a role in her 1 million, viewers watching that? I bet he didn't hate the
Never.
bread. No.
No, she never
Correct.
jumped in the
All
truck and
oversee all these
Instagrammed
amazing
him.
holidays and, I mean, a lot of the stuff she'd probably sponsorship, obviously, and getting paid for. I understand that. But wow, talk about living a lie. It just,
Yeah, it's pretty foul,
really
isn't it?
unhealthy.
Well,
So
it's a bit,
unhealthy.
is it what you edit out?
Mm.
We'll edit out the Coles driving, won't we?
And
Yeah.
the problem is, like back in the day, they used to talk about, the way advertising was done and what that did to people's mental health.
Yeah.
Social media.
Not just in terms of
yeah.
fashion magazines, but you need to have this. You're not
Yeah, what
a
you're
complete person
aspiring
if you
to
haven't
do,
got
yeah.
that. For kids nowadays to be seeing that and going,
They're
I
bombarded by
want
it.
that, it's not even real. What you're saying you want is not a thing.
Yeah.
It's not just kids, though.
Gross. No, I
think
get
it's
it,
important. It's just people.
but adults have grown up with something different. That's all kids get.
Yep.
There's no alternative.
No.
It's pretty foul, and they get
You
it
can
from
see
such a young age.
They all want to do it because they think it looks so effortless, looks so much fun, so
And everyone else is doing it
expensive, it's incredible.
successfully.
Yes.
And then if you can't do it because you're not, a single white female of Kim Kardashian, then you're a failure somehow, or you're like it. Yeah,
I know, for anyone
Not
out
enough
there,
followers, not enough.
anyone
Yep.
out there in the entertainment and influencing and podcasting realm, it's all right to not make any money out of your thing that you enjoy. Look at us. It's all right.
Well,
You're not
the
a
love of
loser
it.
because
we're
no
like
one
the
listens
ugly
to you.
duckling of the podcasting world. We're okay with that. We laugh about it.
I was telling you about this podcast I listened to, complaining about the pronoun stuff. I was telling you about that the other day, and she was crying because someone told her off. Well, I skipped forward a few hundred episodes, because when I'm driving I'll just hit one that is unplayed. And I got onto one, and she spent 30 minutes talking about how she finally got up the courage because she's trying to open herself emotionally to criticism, I guess. And so she went on Reddit to see what people had said about the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about most people were really nice, and then some people said things, and I was just overwhelmed. She could have said all of this in 4 minutes, but she spent 37 minutes saying it. And, and the other girls started, they were chatting about this. Anyway, so I just thought, for shits and giggles, trial by one on Reddit. We don't exist.
You should have commented, search for your podcast on Bing. It's much kinder than Google. Remember?
No one's commented about us on when you do it. Another podcast with a similar name comes up, and there's a lot of conversation about them.
But remember the description on Bing that it gave?
Bing was kind.
It was so complimentary.
Not like Google. Google's like,
I wanted
they're
to
all
be on
right
that
if you like that
podcast.
kind of humour. I liked Google's AI. They're okay if you like that kind of thing. They're a bit dark.
Right.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, Peasant World it is, and I think some nasty pig swill and
I want
just
pigs
hard
twirling
work.
their tails and spraying him in shit.
And he can work so hard that he gets, blisters on his hands, and then he gets pig shit in the blisters, and he gets infections, and so he's a
All
bit
for
boily
$22.
boily and pustulely. Yeah. Okay. I think, and it can spread to his pretty face too, so his ugliness on the inside is now apparent to the world. All right. Well, that was sad. That did annoy me a lot.
Mm.
And I think it's such a shame that the prosecution weren't able to bring more forensic information to bear around the cause of death. But also, I mean, it is like, imagine the flip side, and he didn't kill her.
That's the bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's unsatisfactory for me. So anyway, I'm dissatisfied, Clarky. Yes.
Yeah. I could see, that it's what you're doing is making a judgment on his ridiculous behaviour.
Yeah.
Not
But
about
there's not enough evidence to say
anything
And
other than.
many a time we would have said that shouldn't have got through to a conviction. Even though we're pretty sure he did it, we probably would have said not enough evidence to actually convict for that.
I think that's
Fraud,
what
yes.
a defence.
Murder, no.
Yeah, correct.
That's what they were hoping for. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good chat. Well, good one. As we say every week, miss you already.
Bye now.
Ciao. Ciao.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.